I'm gonna stand up because I got a lot of energy from the drive. So. Welcome back to the show. You are now listening to Wake the Flock Up with Concept 714, and very special. I haven't seen you in forever, Rain. What's it been like? What do you think? It's been like what, 2 years maybe?
At least 2 years.
Right?
At least 2 years.
A lot of things have happened in that time.
I don't think I've seen you since I moved from San Pedro. I don't even live in San Pedro anymore.
You don't?
No, I moved from San Pedro 2 Octobers ago.
Yeah, that's about right. I think the last time I saw you was when we did that show at the Costa Mesa place, right?
I think so.
Remember? They're like the Tiki Lounge or the Tiki Bar or something like that.
No, I think, you know what? The last time you saw me was at the airliner. And that was before they closed the airliner.
Yes. Tragic loss for all of LA, I'm sure. No, but things have been moving. Things have been going. For people that are familiar with the show, you know Rain as our co-host, once co-host. And it was awesome. I had a great time, and we got to definitely revisit those times. But there's a lot of stuff that I wanted to talk to you about. Like, for example, tonight. What do we got going on tonight? What are you getting all dolled up for?
So, currently we're getting ready for my music video release party. I've always been really nervous about hosting parties. So this was a big thing for me. This is actually the first show I've thrown ever. And I know, I'm 31 years old and I've never thrown a show. This is the first show I've thrown.
Okay.
And I think it's because this particular project is really special for me. Lucidity is the sequel to the EP that I released back when I was co-hosting with you.
I remember.
That's actually how we met. We met because we had an interview for Lucid Dreams.
I remember Lucid Dreams. I don't remember how I came upon it or how I came upon you. Do you?
Medicine Johnson.
Ah! Shout out to Medicine Johnson. Another dude. Okay, so this is what I tell people is there goes a lot more into, if you want to seriously start a podcast, if you want to genuinely start a show, right? It's not as easy as getting a mic and speaking to people, right? There's certain things that need to be kind of considered before you start making this decision to commit yourself to this thing. It sounds easy. Like rappers think it's easy because, oh, I'm a rapper, I got a mic, it's cake, right? But what they don't consider is that when they write a song, record a song, that song is pre-written, pre-noted. It's going to be, they know exactly how it's going to flow. They don't have a question of what comes next. They know exactly what's, so it's repetition. It's, a free conversation for an hour and a half takes a lot more than just remembering all the patterns of words and stuff, right? And also, you got to consider, what are you doing? I mean, just because you have a mic doesn't mean that people want to talk, right? So there's a lot more involved to it. But the one bonus that I tell people that comes with what I've done, in my particular case, is the friendships and all the people that I've been able to meet and develop. And connect on levels that, like Medicine Johnson, for example, right? Like, I don't know him very well. I know him as a good dude, but next time I see him, I'll be like, yo, bro, like what? And it'll be that, and we don't have to text each other. There's a mutual artistic respect, I think, that goes with meeting a lot of these people. But the relationships are the best part of this. And you, Valley, and then also getting to meet some of the artists that I've admired as a kid for a long time, So
I know, you've got some cool ones.
I went back and I started going through my Instagram, and I'm just going through 6 years of stuff right from the beginning, from the first post to the most recent one, and it's really just like, even as a kid, I could never imagine that one day I would meet
all these and they're all on your bucket list, right? And you've just been quickly crossing them off of your list.
So the list that you're referring to is I made it in 2013. I created that list of all the artists I've ever wanted to talk to, just sit with and meet. LL Cool J and all these other cats, right? And I never thought I would actually start to cross them off, But the first one was Ari, the Rugged Man. He was having a show, and I'm like, man, I wonder if I can. No, there's no. And I said, you know what? Let's just try it. What's it gonna hurt? Just call. And we got no. And then we got to the point where it was like, you know what? Let's just go. Let's just show up, and he can tell us no if he wants, right? But we got there, and he was super open to it. He was like, yeah, I'll do it. But again, his publicist and his tour manager, those people are like, no, he's too busy, he's too busy. I get it. Some douchebag calls you, hey, he won't, you don't want to bother him. Some chubby Mexican kid wants to talk to you, like, you don't care, right? He doesn't care. He's alright, he's busy.
But I think artists are so excited to connect. I mean, especially like when they see that you take the time and make the effort to reach out to them. For example, yesterday, 2Mex posted something that was really deep and emotional and politically, charged. And I decided to send him a DM, and I was like, man, I really felt that.
Yeah.
And we went on and had a conversation for at least an hour, just back and forth. Not even like texting, but like voice recordings. And it was really interesting because we started talking about art and about how art, it's important to who it's important to. And the most important thing is just to put it out there. And I don't know if you know this, but 2Mex has been in and out of the hospital, and he's been dealing with health problems. So he's developed a really new perspective on what it is to make art. Nevertheless, he remains open to people. And I think, if people like us make an effort to want to connect with an artist, of course they're going to open their hearts and their minds to us. And I think that's what makes you different from other people, is that you make that consistent effort, and that's why the doors keep opening for you.
It's what comes natural to me. First of all, I talk a lot, right? I talk a lot. Second, I have a vast interest and emotional attachment to hip hop. Like, it's embedded into my culture as a kid, right? In my particular, right? It raised me. No father figures, right? So it was Pop was a father figure. These were father figures. So that's where I would learn how to, be tough guy, but you still gotta have emotions. You got to be real, but you can't, there's certain things that you learn and you pick up as a kid, and you start to process them. And then I developed my kind of personality just based off of the MCs, really, that I've just listened to, right? But the artistics, like someone like 2Mex, who's been around a vast area of hip hop, right, for like many years. Right?
Yeah.
He is not only a legend in his right, like, hey, man, you have every right to do it. He continues to work and develop new artists. 2Mex is a dude to go, hey man, who wants a tape? Let's work together, blank, right? And it'll look, maybe on the surface it looks like, oh, 2Mex needs money. But in reality, it's like, hey man, I'm approachable as an artist.
Yeah.
As a legend, like, you can come and see me. You want to collab? Let's do this. And I don't know a lot of artists that would do that. You know what I'm saying?
It's rare.
He has a love and respect for hip hop that I think people pick up that I have when I sit down and I talk to him. The thing that bothers me the most is when I watch these interviews is like, you are not the same. Don't equate yourself as an interviewer to the interviewee. Don't, dude. You're not Rascal. You're not this super dope lyrical rapper. So don't try to understand hip hop through his eyes, because you're not gonna. So what I try to do is remove myself, and I'm just more of an observer. So now I think about, if I was reading like some kind of type out of the conversation, what stuff would I have wanted the interviewer to ask? What would be an interesting question that blank hasn't been asked a million times, right? So the knowledge that I have, the attachment I have, kind of lends itself to the artist, and they pick up on it. They're like, oh, and they walk away. At least 90% of the time, they walk away with it. Hey, man, that was a great fucking interview, bro.
Yeah.
They're happy to have been there,
You create a good conversation.
Because at the very end, I would just want to document it. I can't walk amongst them. Today, someone told me, oh, because I posted the pictures and it has like me with, all these artists, and then they're like, hey, if you hang around these artists or these legends, that makes you a legend concept, right? And I appreciate I appreciate it. Thank you. But at the very end, dude, I'm not even there. Don't consider me present. I'm just documenting this time in hip hop for Sage Francis or Tech Nine, whoever it is. I'm just a documenter. I don't want to know. That's why the episodes are interviews. They're focused on them. They're focused on you. I want to know about you. Because me, man, no one wants to know about me. I'm just a guy asking questions, right? They want to know about Rain and what has she been into? What has she gotten into? You went from, or maybe you still are. When I first met you, very spiritual.
Yeah.
When we had the whole conversation, how everything has an energy and a this whole thing. Are you still very much
Yes, but now I know how to balance my spirituality and, belonging to the real world. Especially when it comes to becoming serious about music, you really have to ground yourself. I was, at the time, I was transitioning from somebody that was trying to figure out who they were to somebody who figured out who they were, and now I'm at a point where I know who I am and I know what I want to do. And I know what I want to do as far as sharing who I am with other people.
But that's a bold statement for you to say, I know who I am and what I want to do. You honestly think you figured it out? You got it?
Yeah, and I'm just gonna start, and I'm gonna just keep going until I'm tired of it, until I figure out what I want to do next.
That's awesome. Congratulations on that, because the one question that I have never been able to answer in my life is, what do you want to do? Rain, I don't know what to do with myself. I honestly don't. I feel like I should be doing something, but I don't know what it is, so it causes me anxiousness, because I'm wasting time, but I don't know why. You know what I'm saying?
There's an author that I really like. She wrote Eat, Pray, Love, and she said to follow your curiosity. And then she also said that instead of focusing on what your purpose is, to instead serve a purpose. So at this moment, you're serving a purpose by interviewing me, by being a part of my life in this way, by documenting something special for me and for you. And you're helping to share music for us and share conversations and share wisdom. And that's part of your purpose. The ways that you serve a purpose becomes your purpose, becomes what you do. These little desires and these little curiosities become a part of the bigger thing, the bigger what am I and what do I want to do.
And I do believe and I'm a big picture guy. And I know it sounds, a lot of people say it, but I mean, I like to think of myself being more practical. So, it also, so that also causes a lot of problems with life, because life wants you to just flow, right? So it wants you to just get up, go to work, punch out, go bed. Like life just wants to keep you flowing, right? And then it's the practicality of but why am I here? Why am I like you start to now question instead of just going with the flow, right? But I can appreciate what she's saying is don't look for the purpose, just be the purpose, and then you'll find your purpose on the path. And it's very much the curiosity thing. She was right, because it was ultimately me going, I can't interview, right? I can't do that. I can't just walk up to a dude and be like, hey, do you want to interview? And it turns out you can pretty much just you can just walk up to anybody as long as you have a mic and be like, hey man, you want to talk? The natural, any human wants to be remembered, right? Wants to be.
They want to leave a legacy.
A legacy behind, right? Even if it's the most. At the end of the day, if it's even the most hermit dude, just in his room, he still wants something to say. Hey, I was here once, right? So that's why Tech9 becomes a world famous rapper, because he wants people to know that he was here, right? Otherwise, he would silently sit in his room.
Yeah.
So I think that's also lends itself to when I go, hey, artist, do you want to interview? Right? And the ones that stay grounded go, hey, this is a person who is interested in me, let me give him the interview. Those that don't stay grounded, right? Oh, no, I'm too big for you, bro. You're not worth my time. You're not worth the sit down. You're not worth the words you're not worthy of my words, man. I'm Kanye. I'm not going to have, you know what I'm saying? Whoever it is. The grounded is so important, I think, as an artist. So do you think you've matured into who you are?
I think I just fell on my ass a few times.
As you should.
Who was it? Thomas Edison that invented the light bulb?
Uh-huh.
I think he said something like, I didn't fail, or, I learned, almost 1,000 ways of how not to make a light bulb.
Yeah.
So I fell on my ass several times, and I learned by experiencing the things that I didn't want before I finally found out what I really wanted to do. I mean, I dedicated my life to teaching for 5 years. For 5 years, I was a substitute teacher, and then I had all this music that I had been creating that I wasn't putting out, and one day I was like, enough. It's time to put out these scores of tracks that I've just got lying around that are done. I have a talent and I have a story, and it's time for me to share it. And I worked in the marijuana business, I worked in the corporate business, I did education, I did voice lessons, I did all sorts of things, right? I did commercial music, I did hip hop, and finally I decided to commit. And I think commitment is a really big aspect of figuring out what you want to do and then completing it. So I'm at a point in my life where I've learned to commit to little things, and now I can commit to something bigger. It was ballsy of me to even do this party. Like I said, I've always been afraid of making things happen, of making events. I tend to be the type of person, I used to be the type of person that would just, people hire and I show up. I was never the person that was the mastermind of something. I had to grow into that. I had to hang around people that were entrepreneurs to develop that entrepreneurial mindset. Like what you were saying, somebody told you that because you're hanging around with the greats, then you must be a legend too. And I know your humble opinion is of course not, that you're somebody that's documenting. But at the same time, we are the average of the people that we spend time with. So I think that by hanging around these people, you're getting something out of it. You're asking that question, what do I want to do? How do I want to contribute? What is the legacy that I want to leave? Otherwise, you'd be just, some Joe Schmo working and watching Netflix at night and going to bed early and waking up and doing it all over again. But you have this desire, right?
And I see it. And I see it with people, and they'll come home and then like your day's done, right? Like you throw your shoes off and you're watching your Netflix. And in my head, I'm thinking like, there's so much day left. Like and again, with the anxious of like, what am I supposed to be doing? Like, I think it's like a testosterone thing, because you're just like, I want to fucking punch something all the time, You're just like, I want to go do something. And, but you want it to be something that's going to be worth doing. And the fact that I get to maneuver around these artists, I understand that's special, right?
It is.
Look, I understand Rain is special. I understand you have a special talent, and so there's a world that welcomes this special. There's other people in this other special, right? I understand that we are, maneuvering in and out of hip hop the way that I've been able to do. I don't know anyone that's been able to do that, and I don't know that I'm leaving a trail for the next guy. I just know that at the time it felt right. And it's like, man, this is just where the curiosity is leading to, man. I'm just going with it. The one thing that I think you'll appreciate is that I did learn that once you figure out what life has in store for you, not what you want for your life, but what life has, it'll make things easier if you start walking down that path.
Yeah.
That I have discovered. Like, I will go to a show and I do interview, okay, and I happen to run into the guy that books blank. That was life going, hey man, you didn't have to be here, and I just facilitate this for you, right?
And then you're rewarded with it. Sometimes even when you doubt it, like, should I go? And then it's like an Easter egg at the end of a Marvel movie or something. It's just exciting to realize that by little coincidences and little things like that, that you know that you're walking on the right path.
That life keeps showing you if you pay attention, right? And the other example I give people is that if you go, hey, I am a rapper. Okay, yeah, all right, I'm a rapper. Okay, cool. But you never get in the studio, and you never write anything, and you don't really rap. Like, are you a rapper, right? And life keeps going, no, bro, you're not a rapper, you're blank, right? So it keeps throwing you in that direction. But your life is going to become very hard because you keep pounding your foot saying, I'm a rapper, I'm a rapper, I'm a rapper. And life's like, no, you're not. But you keep pushing in that direction, and life's showing you that that's not the right way. And I think that's when people start to get into trouble. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, when they're not in alignment with who they really are.
And they want to force who they think they should be, when in reality, that's just not who you've matured or developed to be.
I think that has a lot to do with not listening to yourself. Because I was pretty adamant about staying and teaching for a while. But I think it was because I felt comfortable. And I kept getting students who were like, what are you doing here, miss? Mm-hmm. Or I kept getting more opportunities to make music, and it just got to the point where it became unbearable. I think a lot of people are told what they're supposed to be doing, or they see options that are comfortable or easy, and they kind of stick to that. Kind of like, there's a book called The Alchemist, right?
favorite books. One of my
So
favorite
you
books.
read it.
I love it.
So he has the option to
Yeah.
just tend to his sheep,
Yeah.
or to figure out, the
Yeah.
secret of life.
Uh-huh.
And he goes on this journey, and this journey leads him home.
Yeah.
But the journey is what he needed.
Yeah.
So I think it has a lot to do with that. You listen to yourself, you pay attention.
But I'm an idiot.
I
So
don't
I don't want to hear too. I don't. How much? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the other thing I'm thinking about. Like yeah, but what do you know? Like what are you doing? Like in the self doubt that comes with your friend, right? She's like a year ago, she was like, hey man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this, and now she's booked all the time,
Yeah.
right? If she had stopped 2 months into it because of the doubts and oh you're not gonna do it, where are you gonna find the people? Babe, come on, there's a million hairdressers. If she would have fell into all this stuff, she wouldn't be here now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Mariah used to get cyberbullied. She started really, really young when she was a teenager, and she was bullied to the extent that she stopped doing YouTube channels, and she veered away from makeup. She had to slowly work herself back into gaining that confidence that led her to have faith in what she desired. And now it's amazing because now she's so busy that if I ask her to do something for a music video for me, she has to check her calendar and get back to me.
As it should be, right? That's life saying, hey, this is what I have for you. And she loves it. Look at her. She's so into your hair right now. I can tell that she loves what she's doing. She's invested into it emotionally. But Rain, one of the reasons that I like you as a person is you have a very, what's the word? There's a calm presence to you.
Oh, thank you. Right, do you agree?
That I don't find, and with all respect, in a lot of females. Like a lot of females don't have this tendency of like, I'm good. They have a lot of like, I don't know, they just seem like
Jittery? Anxious?
not jittery, just like I'm a girl. So I'm a girl, right? We're good. You guys are good. Like I just feel like a lot of girls have this like, I'm gonna pretend to be softer than I am because maybe it'll give me, I don't know.
There's a lot of girls that are socially conditioned to believe that they have to be overly feminine in order to be respected.
Or they think it's respect, right? And when in actuality, it's the dude just going like, okay, you're a girl, I get it. Like, so, but there's a confidence to you that I don't see in other females of our age, right? It's a very complicated thing. Also, because you were a teacher, right? You were a professional in mind, who still had the music going on, which I admired. I was like, it's awesome, right? Like how you would have balanced it. But you're saying you've left the professional life? 100% is done.
100%.
What was that day like when you realized that you were gonna be gone? Do you remember?
I just recently wrote about it. I'm writing a book. It's called The Singing Sub. I started it last November for the National Novel Writing Competition, but I stopped because the last chapter that I wrote was I wrote it because at a school there was a student that was telling me that he had noticed that one of the teachers was being weird towards the students. So it inspired me to write this story, this chapter. And this chapter went viral, and it got a lot of media attention, and the teacher ended up getting fired from the school. So I'm finishing it up now. I just started it back again like maybe 3 or 4 days ago. And I wrote about my last day as a substitute. I was at Dodson, which is just down the street from here in Rancho Palos Verdes. And I remember I was ending my day, and I went up to the secretary. She's like, oh, can you come in tomorrow? And I looked at her and I was like, actually, this is my last day.
Did you have that? Did that just come out?
Mm-hmm.
So it was just it was your natural response to say,
yeah. I was like, this is my last day. Oh, what's going on? And I was like, I'm gonna take a leave of absence. I told her that I was gonna take a 1-year break to focus on my music. But it's been 6 months, and I have no intention of going back. I really don't. I was really scared at first, and there was 1 month that was really awful, but financially.
Yeah.
But I've completely replaced my teaching income and then some.
So once you've done that, right, the fear is no longer, hey, can I eat off of this? Because now you see you're able
because
to.
now you see you can.
But how long can I eat off of this? I think later comes the big question, like how long can I honestly do this, right? There's a thing about. Okay, so femininity in hip hop is kind of like a weird thing because and I'm including you in hip hop in the urban. I'm talking in urban settings. And what I'm saying is, you're either super feminine, like I'm a hoe, whatever. I don't know how to do that. Or you're super tough and rugged, and you're like raw. You're like a dude, right? Like that's it in hip hop. There's no like. And those are far, like Lauryn Hill's not around anymore. Like that MC.
She was the balance.
She was the balance, right? Like I'm still tough, but I'm gonna make my, X Factor and whatever, and a talent behind it, right? But I'm saying is that's gone. I can't think of another female representation in hip hop that is balanced.
Yeah.
Now, especially now, can't that in a commercial setting, not really. Not even Eve's around anymore. She was like, I'm still hot, but I rap, and I'm not that, Now it's, you're either super girly or you try to hide the girliness with like beanies and jackets and shit.
I know.
And
Like
you
Snow the product. It's crazy. She's so beautiful and she just hides it all.
Listen, I don't smell the product. I dislike her representation of a Latina, and it bugs me.
Is it too whitewashed for you?
It's too not real, and it's like again, look, you're a girl. Like it's fine. You cannot wear a beanie. You cannot wear a jean jacket or a leather. And maybe she doesn't want to be, sexualized, but that's weird. You're an adult woman. Why wouldn't you want to be? Like, what is happening?
That a lot of that is part of cholo culture too, though. A lot of the girls in cholo culture wear really baggy clothes, and they kind of cover themselves up, and they wear their men's shirts, like in very veteran cholo culture.
So her representation of a Latina. If I'm not a Latino, and that's what I think Latino women are like, yo, Joe, that's not it. The cholo culture is not the majority of Latino. It's a one factor of Latinos. And so what I'm saying is, like, I don't like that she's the only Hispanic female representation on that level. And it bugs me.
What about Reverie?
Now you talk about Reverie is completely different because styles fluctuate.
Yeah, what about Gatlin?
Styles fluctuate. They fluctuate. It's not, this is what I'm presenting and this is what I'm going to sound like on every single track. No, Reverie will do trap, and then she'll do love, and then she'll do spin, and then she'll do some pop. But the flow, the artistry is through and through. And you can't say Reverie dresses like a chola.
She doesn't.
And she's a Hispanic girl. So why, you know what I'm saying? Like, it throws everything off once you get somebody good next to the McDonald's representation of that. Right?
The McDonald's representation.
It just, it's like that, and it just seems ingenuine. Ungenuine?
Ungenuine? You mean inauthentic?
Inauthentic. She seems unauthentic to me. My bullshit meter goes off when I see her. It's like, oh, come on.
I have a feeling that your bullshit meter goes off with a lot of people.
Some more than others, but there's been as I get older, I've fine-tuned it. And also, I don't allow things to get it off anymore. Like, if you're just like some dude, like whatever, bro. But if you're like, hey, I am Talib is another example. Talib Kweli. I have I am the final word in hip hop. Right? Okay, let's say you are. But then you don't get to just be a dick about it. You don't get to just be a dick and hide your racism and do like. There's a lot of things that bother me about the ungenuine factor that these personas put on. But I don't see that with you. Right?
You know what I think though? I think if somebody's coming off ungenuine or inauthentic, I think they're probably still figuring themselves out. You know what I mean? Like you can't pose as a real person until you know who you are. You have to have a certain level of like confidence and inner knowledge to project that level of sincerity towards others. We don't know what she's going through. We don't know who's managing her, who's making her decisions, if she's allowed to be her true self, or if she's a puppet for some, feminine hip hop machine that's monetizing.
And again, this is my opinion. That's just me. I could be completely wrong. She could be the most genuine, truly. That could be the case. I could be 100% wrong. I don't think so, but that could be. And I admit that. Like, look, I don't know her personally. But I don't know anyone. Who do you know personally on a level where you'd be like, oh no, I personally know this shit? No.
Aside from your wife? I don't
Or your brother or sister, even then, you know what I'm saying? Like, the ingenuine is what bothers me. That's it.
I get it.
Let me trade these batteries out.
Yeah, go for it.
And we can take.
Do you want to get something to drink?
I got a water. I'm good with it.
Okay. How's the hair? Is it staying?
Yeah, I'm spraying it. And then I like to do the shampoo.
I'm gonna then explain to the audience that I have why that should not be the purpose. See what I'm saying? So you could be super rich and do be fantastic, but there's always gonna be people like me who aren't looking for the money, right? Who are trying to preserve the nature of art and be kind of like the spirit of hip hop, which I think it's important to keep in music. How can you have a music if you don't respect the spirit? How can you cultivate it? How can you grow it? Imagine you didn't love Selena and you didn't love, whoever it is that you idolize, and you just said, well, I'm gonna start singing. And I know it because I'm good enough and I'm just gonna cater to the people that listen to me. There's no love behind that.
There isn't. I mean, that's essentially what 6ix9ine did.
There's no heart, is all I'm saying, and there should be heart behind it.
We're always going to know the difference between music that is business and music that's real music. But the people that want to hear the real music with the soul and the heart, those are the people that are going to listen to it. And
But
that's it.
you can be both, is what I'm saying. You can be Sade. You can sell records and still maintain your integrity as an artist. You
Well,
don't
that's definitely where I'm going. That's what I want.
Which is why you're on the show. And Cardi B is not. Even though she might be a million artist who's going to give me $1 million. Again, I don't respect her for what she does. So this conversation is not going to go very well once I have Cardi B in front of me and she figures out like, hey, I don't really respect what you do. It's not going to, but I like you, I respect you, and you respect art and music. And that's why I think it's important to shine a spotlight on artists like you.
I didn't always make songs that I felt. There were times where I really compromised myself. Where I put out music that was bullshit. Because I was getting paid. So I guess that's how I learned that integrity was important to me. Not everybody has the same core values. Not everybody values
Not
integrity.
everyone's going to do that, yeah.
Some people are going to be like, give me some money. Give me some money. I will sing for you whatever the fuck you want. Nowadays, when I get collaboration requests from rappers, I don't like your rapping. I'm not going to work with you. I don't care how much money you throw at me. If I feel like I'm going to be embarrassed or ashamed to be in your music video, I'm not going to be in your music video. And the same goes for my music. Oh my god, this music video that I'm putting out tonight, I think we did 10 edits. In fact, we did one music video shoot, and I hated the shoot, and we shot again.
We reshot the whole thing.
The whole fucking thing. Because I didn't like it, because I didn't feel like it complemented what I was striving to achieve with my art.
That makes
Not
sense.
everybody does that. Not everybody knows what they want to the extent that they're willing to scrap the whole thing in order to make something that's true to their soul. You have to be decisive for something like that.
You definitely do. You have to have a clear mind of where it is you want to go and what it is you're trying to accomplish.
You're gonna Sean knows where to set up. Tell him to set up where we always set up. We changed the setup. The DJ is gonna be right in front of the projector. The projector. Yep. That did change. Yeah, I am almost done. Tell Sean we are setting up where we always set up, and the DJ is gonna set up in front of the projector. I told Trina and I told Trina's daughter. They should know. All right, love you. Bye. Sorry, it's showtime in 30 minutes.
Yep, we're wrapping up right now. No, Rain, see, this is why I like these conversations with people that genuinely have an emotional attachment to their art. I think it's important to display that more often than just, hey, this is somebody who managed to get 100,000 followers. This is someone who respects what they do. They have a love and a genuine interest in music. And that's where you come in.
Yeah. It took a while though. It took a while for me to like my music.
Yeah.
I had to grow into it. You know you're whack when you're whack.
So what can we expect from the reborn Rain?
Oh man.
Like what can we see in the future coming up?
I'm so excited about Lucidity, first of all. This is going to be the first music video for Lucidity. I made this EP here in San Pedro while living here. And I made it during my spiritual journey and my spiritual transformation. So there's a lot of songs that are spiritually oriented, a lot of love songs, a lot of stuff talking about the law of attraction, things like that. Visually, we're really pushing the envelope. This first visual, it's paying homage to San Pedro, so it's all in the Sunken City and a bunch of different locations here in the city because I owe a lot to this city. I'm excited about sharing this with people from San Pedro because, Miguel is from San Pedro and there's a bunch of other artists that come out of here.
Is that so? Is Miguel from San Pedro? I had no idea.
Yeah,
wow.
And, I taught kids here. And sometimes kids here don't really see the beauty of their town. They don't really have a sense of pride in it.
Yeah.
So for me to showcase it, was like, I loved it here. This place healed me. It's a way of helping people that are from this town to see that if they're artists or if they're in some sort of creative interest or pursuit, that this is a good place to make their art and a good place to start. So that's pretty much why we're here, but there's that. I'm going to be releasing, my plan is to release a new music video every month. And my plan is to throw more shows, to throw more parties, to bring more people together. At this point in my life, my daughter's 11 years old, and I'm 31, and I really, really I know what I want to do. I know that I want to share my music and see how far I can reach with my music. And I also have the other project, the Selena Tribute. I watch the Selena movie and the Selena concert every day.
Do you really?
I really do. That's how dedicated I am to it. Because I take it seriously that this woman is gone. She's passed away and her spirit is living on. And that I've been called to perform her music and to channel her spirit through my performances. I feel very strongly about that. So I want to make sure that, because one of my values is integrity, I want to make sure that I'm authentically expressing her to my audiences. And when they leave my concert, they feel her. I've had women come up to me after and crying and holding me like, thank you, God bless you for doing this. People that watch Selena live. So I want to generate that same level of feeling in people when they listen to my music. I want people to feel something. I want people to feel some type of way.
I think, and we'll wrap it up because I know we're busy along that, but I think artists like Selena and artists like Tupac and artists like, what happens is that we know that they're genuinely good. So when they're gone, there's a depth, or there's a feeling of
loss. There's a
of a
hole.
heavy loss, because you're like, no, he was the one. She was bringing genuinely true artist music out, and now some assholes, ruined. There's a whole level, a thing of layers that comes to losing an artist.
Yeah, like Nipsey Hussle. My goodness, everyone felt that.
And just in first of all, the brutality of the murder is wow, right? It's like some movie stuff, but it's what they leave behind that I think we should really concentrate on, instead of the departure. Is, hey man, while they were here,
Yeah.
while they were here, while Pac was here, while Selena was here, bro, they were the artists of their year, of their lives. It's a beautiful thing. But you're right up there, Rain, and you're gonna do your thing. And I'm excited tonight, and I'm very happy for you.
Thank you.
I'm glad that you have this peace around you, and that you're following through on your vision for your life.
It took me a while to really commit and to really believe, but now I'm now that I'm in the position where I feel this way, things are coming so much more easily. So if you're an artist listening out there, if there's anything that I want you to work on believing in yourself. Work on cultivating that faith in your talent. And don't ever give up. That's the only way that you'll lose is if you quit. Mm-hmm. Look at Mariah over here. Busy as hell.
Back to Mariah. Everything's about Mariah. Jeez. No, okay. Rain, thank you for sitting down with us. Thank you for having us. I'm excited to see where you go from here.
I'm excited to see that too. Yeah. I'll send you some music so that your listeners can listen to.
Absolutely. We'd love to feature some of the new songs on the interview. And again, Rain, thank you for having us, and hopefully we can do this again sometime.
Sounds good. You guys, it's rainbisou.com, RAINBISOU.com. The new single is called Oh My. You can follow me on Instagram at Rain Bisou, RAINBISOU. Don't be afraid to talk to me, call me, text me, whatever. I am here to help people. I'm here to mentor people, especially if you're an artist that's starting out. I'm also a vocal coach. So if you need...
Damn, snow the product and all this nonsense. God.
Inauthentic artist.
But who am I to... All I'm saying is, having met enough genuine artists, I think it becomes pretty easy to be like, And I don't think there's anything... It might sound insensitive to say that, but it is a skill you can pick up. I mean, cops do it all the time. You deal with enough scumbags and be like, okay, this guy's lying. Okay, this guy's telling the truth. There's no difference with that. I've been doing it for 6. I understand. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things and levels and connections you get with people that, through interviews, through real interviews, true interviews, right? Not the pre-planned stuff that you can't hide to long range. Like you can't hide for an hour and a half in an interview. Like you're not that. It's just not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
But outside of that, the fact that you're genuine is what I like about you. Like I said, and you're not afraid to go for it. You know what I'm saying? That was pretty ballsy. You quit your job and you said, I'm gonna try to do this. Having kids and having this life already developed and ready, you know. So what was it like when you came home that day? Was it like?
I was so scared, but at the same time, I think my spiritual journey, for those of you that don't know, I decided to leave Wake the Flock Up because I explained to a concept that I needed to focus on deepening spiritually. And I did that for like a year or 2. It might have been a year and a half, 2 years. I went to therapy. I went to church. I read spiritual books. I meditated. I did forgiveness, workshops, all sorts of things. I got to the point where my faith was so strong that I was like, okay, I'm going to do this because God wants me to do this because God gave me this talent and I'm just going to go for it. And I had to just kind of free fall into this life that I did not know how it was going to turn out. And things and people started showing up. And it was crazy.
There is struggling myself as I do with religion and faith and believing in it. I understand that there's a benefit, there's a discipline to religion that I think we can all benefit from. Right? And then people, you see the outside and you're so quick to judge it. Like a lot of the stupid things I hear is like, if God is so amazing, then why does He need you to praise Him all the time? Why does He need? And I just tell people, like, you're looking at it completely wrong. You're not praising Him for His good. You're praising Him for your good. You understand? Like, the fact that you are willing to, whatever it is, submit yourself to something bigger than yourself. Right? Submit to an entity, or whoever it is. The Greeks at the whatever it is, right? It will humble you. And humility has a lot of benefits to you as a decent human being, right? That you don't get if you say are an atheist, or you don't get this massive of like, yo man, I'm not the universe. I'm just a bit of it. Like there is something to giving yourself into the fact that I'm not in control. Like, it's not. I'm just scared to like do that, and I don't know how. Sorry, I don't know how to willingly give up into it, to give into it to the point where I guess you have.
It's scary. It took me 5 years to make it happen. 5 years. And before that, I was in college. I did 4 years of school instead of doing 4 years of music. I didn't go to school for music. I did train privately, but it took a long time for me to have faith and for me to believe in myself. Faith is just believing in the unseen. That's all it is. And to praise Him is just to demonstrate gratitude. You don't even have to, like, if you're an atheist, you don't have to praise God. You just have to say, oh, I'm so grateful for this. You have to feel appreciation for something. Like, I feel appreciation for you being here and speaking with me and allowing me to share my story with the people that listen to you. I'm grateful for Mariah for being here and for beautifying me for this event. I'm grateful for this venue and the person that owns it because she opened up her door for me. That feeling of gratitude, it creates an energy that attracts more good things to you. If we're going to make it more simple, you have a child, you have children. When your children are grateful, you want to give them more. When they're ungrateful, you get pissy. You're like, what's wrong with you, you know? But when they demonstrate appreciation, oh, thanks for this, or politeness, or oh, I love it that you come that you drop me off or you pick me up, or that you cook for me, or thank you for doing this for me. You feel just flooded with love and you want to give more. So that's the way I see it. I started, the spiritual deepening that I did led me to have appreciation. That appreciation allowed me to have more perceptions of what's happening that's good in my life. It allowed me to see more opportunities and to go for those opportunities, to have the confidence to go for those opportunities. And also, every opportunity that I had was the seed for a greater opportunity. So, I'm sure you've had interviews with artists that were not as popular, but they created the seed for creating interviews with bigger artists or with artists that were like your white whale, right? That's kind of where I'm at. I started out with this cover band with a guy who didn't even want to pay me for my time. And then I went into another cover band that underpaid me severely. And then I started booking my own things. And then I got more opportunities, and now I'm in a position where I'm like, okay, I have enough faith in my ability to create for myself, where I can start taking my art and seeing how well my art does. Can I capitalize? Can I market this? Can I create an audience for myself? It's groundwork, but the groundwork has a lot to do with the mindset. You have to have the mindset first. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
The mindset of I can get this done.
Mm-hmm. You have to believe in it, and at first you have to lie to yourself. You have to tell yourself until you believe it. I tell people, like, I fake it till I make it. Many times I've been in front of my audiences and I'm not confident. I'm scared as shit, and I really don't know what I'm doing, especially when I have a new song or when I'm doing something new. But when people come up to me at the end of the performance, they're like, wow, you did so amazing, and it always fills me with awe when people appreciate what I do, because I have such a high standard for myself. I think it's important for an artist to never get comfortable with themselves, to never feel like they're done. I mean, it's not a good thing to feel like you're not good enough. It's not a good thing to feel like you're shitty.
Because then you start to implode on your own ego, right? Your own ego becomes this massive weight, and all of a sudden you're Kanye, and it's just grown out of control, and you start to spew this stupid, retarded shit that comes out of your mouth because your ego is not. There's nobody saying, "Hey, shut up." No. There's you can't. All these people for 20 years, they haven't had somebody say, "Hey, that's not a good idea." All they have had is, wow, you're a genius. That's fantastic. You're amazing. You're incredible. So, they just did it, blah, blah. And then now their head's too big. And now they go, oh, I support Trump. And I know. Because they just think whatever thoughts they have must be
The truth.
Must be the real, because I've been praised for everything else. How can my dumb thoughts about my politics be wrong? Of course I'm right. Of course, this is, it starts to develop into, and then you have people that, at least Kanye has rationale why he could earn that level of, if you're just some douchebag and you have this huge head about yourself, your Talibs and all these, you don't come, you see what I'm saying? It's like you're not that. Stop equating yourself to these levels of grandeur and like these artistic gods. Like, bro, you're not them. You're not gonna, it doesn't work like that. But yes, you do need to have a certain ego to say, I'm concept, not George. Yeah. I'm concept, and this is what I do now. And then, you need that ego. You need that, right?
I wouldn't call it ego. I would just call it. What's the word for this?
Ego is important to have. There's nothing wrong with having. Ego has a lot of negative connotations to it.
It does.
But you need an ego to survive, right? To still like live as a human being. You're like, man, I'm worth living. I need to survive. So that little bit of ego helps you. See what I'm saying? Now, when you're in an artistic level, the ego helps you get over insecurities.
You're right.
And it helps you do, which is necessary. Keep your ego in check, though, right? Keep it in check. That guy telling me I'm a legend, I could very easily be like, bro, duh, homie, like that's what I've been, like, or I could be like, push it away to where I accept it. Thank you, compliment. Don't let it.
Don't internalize it.
Because if I let it get to the point where like, oh, maybe he's right, man. Maybe I am a legend. Maybe, oh man, what is this bullshit? It's bad for your soul.
Yes. Yes. And I think that's the best way, like, speaking for artists that are working on building themselves up, it's really important. I mean, it's so important to stay humble, to keep your appreciation.
I did have specific questions for you that I did want to talk about, or just topics that I wanted your opinion on.
Sure.
So we talked about the difference between males and females and like hip hop, how they. But do you process your life through the eyes? I mean, I guess you have to, but I'm saying, do you very consciously go, I'm a girl? Is that something that process? And I know it's a very dumb question, but I think it's considerable. Like, do you say, hey, I'm a female, so I must apply myself different in these situations? Like the fact that you're a girl, does that come about in your decision making?
Of course. Of course.
You know what I mean? It's kind of, I guess it's hard to. What I'm asking is like, how do you view the thing? Like, I don't view them as like, hey, I'm a dude. These things are happening to me as a dude. I view them like, this consciousness you have is experiencing these things, George. Like, right? You say like, they're worth paying attention to. How do you process the way life happens to you?
I process my life as an empowered female that empowers other females. So I don't play the victim because of my status as a female. That's first and foremost. I mean, yes, there's definitely sexism out there and there's racism out there, and they intersect in ways that are pretty fucked up for women. But my job as an artist and as a person is to help women realize their value as women and to help them capitalize on that.
Capitalize on that.
That's what
and you capitalize on being a girl?
Of course. There is an advantage to being a woman.
Talk to me. What advantages do you as a female have that, let's say, I don't have?
Women have the power of persuasion.
That's true. I couldn't seduce my way out of the situation.
Women have the power of persuasion, and a woman's beauty, it goes as far as her confidence goes.
Interesting. It is something that I've given a lot of thought to, which I think people tell me like, oh, like you lost all the weight, and like, but honestly, like to me, again, it's so weird. I'm so detached from myself. And I think it's an actual like clinical thing because I don't have like an emotional attachment to my race. Like I'm not emotionally attached to being Hispanic. Like I'm not. That's awesome. Like I don't have a sense of pride from it that I see people just fucking walk around like I'm white, man. Look how awesome this is. I'm black. Look how cool I am. Like I'm just like, all right. Like I didn't get to choose it. I didn't earn it. Like I don't. Whatever color I happen to land on, bro. Like. I had nothing to, I didn't earn that. So like, where's the sense of pride in that? See what I'm saying?
I think the sense of pride comes from researching and embracing.
But they don't research. Rain, you can't tell me that these Nazis or these skinheads who are like, I'm white, are researching that, oh, why white people are so awesome. Because it would take very little research to be like, oh, you're just like every other color. Like you don't
Then it's
bleed
not
any.
pride, it's ego.
Which is good to have, right? We talk, but I don't know if it's ego. I think it is pride. I think pride is unkept ego. You shouldn't have pride in stuff you don't have control over. I cannot be judged on the fact I shouldn't be judged in society if I'm a man and I'm 4'3". I shouldn't be judged by that, right? That shouldn't be a factor on whether you're going to treat me as a person or not, right? I didn't have any control about how short I am. It's not my fault. I can't do anything to fix it. So therefore, you can't blame me. You can't say, oh, I'm going to factor the fact that you're short in how I'm going to treat you because I can't have any. So the same thing with my color. Like I can't change it. I can't be darker. I can't be lighter. So don't judge me by what I look like. Judge me by the stuff that I say to you.
Now, what if I were to tell you that I'm proud to be a Latina? That I'm proud to be a woman who's Latina?
I understand 100% that people have the pride, but I don't understand it.
You don't understand the source of it?
It escapes me. It escapes me the idea to be proud of something you had zero to do. Your football team winning, you had nothing to do with the Niners winning. Why is this sense of pride of jumping up and down? What are you talking about? You did nothing for this. You did nothing to be a girl. How you doing?
Come on in. Sorry we've taken up your space. I'm going to be performing today, and we're having an interview right now. But you're welcome to come in. Yeah, this is my
How you
interviewer.
doing? Nice to meet you.
We've got one of the belly dancers coming in right now. Are you going to be doing tarot today as well?
Belly dancing.
Okay, so she's doing belly dancing and
Can't
tarot
wait
for
to see
today.
that.
Oh, by the way, guys, we are at Babouche in San Pedro. We're doing my single release party. I'm getting my hair and makeup done by Mariah, and Concept is interviewing me. So there's a lot going on right now. And but yeah, come on in. There's a couple of rooms here. Anyway, yeah. So I just think like the reason why people are proud of those things is because they have examples of who they are from the past, and it makes them happy to be a part of that legacy. For example, being proud to be a woman Latina. I have so many examples of powerful female Latinas that make me feel proud. You wouldn't be proud of something if you didn't have something before you that was worthy of feeling excited and proud of. Come on in.
Sure. I mean, I get that part, right?
Oh, I
And
know.
there's a
Thank
sense
you.
of like wanting to fit in a sense of like, hey, I'm a part of something also. Like I get that. I understand that. But it doesn't help me. Like me being proud of what my ancestors did does not help me today.
Why not?
How? How is it beneficial for me to be proud of it? It doesn't. It's not going to better my life today. I wouldn't explain how me being proud of what Aztecs did is going to help me in my modern life today. I don't understand.
Well, I mean, when you're rooted in your ancestry and in your lineage, you get to have examples of character and success to propel you into creating your own success.
Of people
in the
that looked
present.
like me? Like, 'cause that's really what it is. Like, hey, that person looks like me and he had success. So therefore, I can also have success because
Yeah.
I look like him?
Exactly.
But that's not the way. Just because I look like, it doesn't mean I'm going to have any success at all. Like,
Well,
listen,
let's think about this really quick. Let's think really quick about the history of African Americans in the United States.
Okay.
Now, we didn't have black people in office. We didn't have powerful and positive examples of black people in history. And for most of American history, black people were demonized and seen as rapists and criminals. Pretty much what's happening for Mexicans today with the Trump administration. And then we started having figures in the cinema and in history books.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, little children are seeing positive examples, and they're no longer feeling like like their existence needs to be of a thug or needs to be of a criminal. They're seeing possibilities for something better than, say, a black girl that wants to, like, for example, that movie Hidden Figures. They're seeing possibilities for women in the arts and in science that they didn't see before. So that's the sense of pride, where you have positive examples that you can look back on because they help you to envision something better for you than maybe what was there before. And it has nothing to do with you, right? Obviously, I can't take any credit for Jennifer Lopez's success or Selena's success, but I can say that one of the big reasons why I'm here today and why I'm doing what I do is because Selena paved the way for women entertainers in the business. Before, there was so much sexism. The music industry, especially in Latin music, was completely dominated by men.
Yeah.
And there weren't women that took control of their own careers the way that Selena did, the way that Jennifer Lopez has, and the way that I plan to as well. At this point, I am my own boss. I don't really answer to anybody. I 1099 people, and I'm being 1099 as well. You know what I mean? That's a different status than a W-2. And I definitely feel proud to be a female Latina now because I have those examples. Whereas before, it was either the Madonna or the whore, right? You were either like the housewife. My mom was a housewife, you know? You were either the housewife or you were this overly sexualized, Latina prostitute. Those were your options, right? So that's just, that's just my explanation of my pride in being a Latina from that standpoint. So and so it helps me to understand how other people can be proud of their culture. There's so much to be proud about if you look back and you see some of the wonderful things that people that looked like you or came from your country did. And when you have pride in that, especially when it's things that are positive, it really creates an opportunity for our societies to improve because you have good examples and because people aren't hating themselves for being Mexicans or hating themselves for being women or hating themselves for being Africans. I remember growing up, I had a friend who hated being Salvadorian. She was ashamed of being a Salvadorian girl.
What was it that she didn't like?
She
was like their culture?
She grew up with the belief that being Salvadorian was being a loser and being, less than. Yeah. And she wanted to be white because she felt like being white was the prime example of success and happiness. So this pride that we can have,
there's a reassurance in it. There's a reassurance and there's the comfortable. But I'm saying, as adults, right, we shouldn't be so proud in Dodger fans. Like Dodger fans, you don't need to be that. Like I'm saying, like there's a lot more energy that could be spent in other forms of enjoyment. Like I'm just saying, like to have the emotional attachment to this skin color is weird to me. It's a strange idea to be like, yeah, I'm so proud to be this. Like, wow. Because I am proud of very little. Like I don't feel like I've done enough to be proud to be like, hey, check that out. And not just being like, hey, check this out. I'm this colored. I want props. You gotta give respect. Like what? It just seems like a weird thing for your skin color to be your main character trait. See what I'm saying?
I think people aren't going around saying white pride for a reason. If you're saying white pride, people are going to look at you funny. I think pride is relegated to people that were downtrodden, colonized, raped, taken over. In some form, they were mistreated at a certain point and they had to develop pride in order to elevate themselves, to believe that they were worthy of something better than being downtrodden.
Yeah, I could see that now. I could see the benefit to it. I definitely see the benefit.
But I agree. Pride in being a Dodger fan is trivial.
Be proud and be a dad. Be proud in being a husband. Be proud in the stuff that matters first, and then worry about whether the Raiders win or not. Like that's not. You don't need to. It's wasted energy.
I just think it's sheeple stuff. I mean, if you look back on like Roman societies, what were they doing? What were the politicians and the people that were running the empire doing to keep people from taking charge of their country.
Yeah, it was
they
the
were
here's a
building
show.
these coliseums,
Yeah.
and they were, you know, going to these coliseums and watching the lions eating the gladiators.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is happening right now too.
Yeah.
Social media, television,
100%.
Netflix is keeping people from performing their civic duties. So, yeah, I mean, I can see what you mean. There's a lot of trivial stuff that people are being proud of right now that it just makes absolutely no sense. But as far as like cultural background, I definitely feel like it's important to be proud of where you come from, because if you're not proud of where you come from, you're gonna have this feeling of inferiority following you around everywhere you go in your life, and you're never gonna reach for the higher things in your life.
It's interesting. It's interesting, Rain. I like that. No, I'm with you on this one. You kind of turn the page on me. You know what? Brown pride, people. No, I'm with you. So, I wanted to see how you were processing your life when you're saying you're very much aware that you're a feminine energy.
Oh, yeah.
You're very much, and you use that to your advantage,
Of
as you
course.
should, because why wouldn't you use
Of
all
course.
tools available to you to succeed? I get that.
Of course.
I'm with it. But it's I think the artists that we see that use nothing but their sexuality or nothing but the femininity, that now that's the problem, right? There's no other side to them. There's no like depth to what they're doing. There's no depth to like Britney. You think Pitbull is sitting at home like, oh my God, man, I'm gonna pour my. No, Pitbull's writing Pitbull lyrics, right? Because he understands, hey, I'm a commodity. This is not real. This is an entertainment, right? And then you have like, I don't know, like a Johnny Cash where it's like just deep. You know, there's a difference to it. There's a balance that should be on. But as a female, right, how do you see the way that other artists kind of go down their journey? Are you okay with the representation that you have?
Well, every artist has their own audience. I have a pretty small audience, but I love my audience and I give them what they want. Cardi B is giving her audience what they want. She gives them memes and she gives them funny videos, and she knows what she's targeting. We could say the same about Trump. Trump is not stupid. He knows exactly the audience that he's targeting in their stupidity to get them to sway them in the way that he needs them to be swayed so that he can win.
Which is fine for them. It's fine for Trump and it's fine for Cardi B. What's wrong is that now they are the Trump is now the representation of the Republican Party. So now all Republicans are going to think and act like Trump. See what I'm saying? At least in a person's mind that's outside, is going to be, oh, well, all Republicans must be like that if they support him. Yeah. So all hip-hop heads must be like Cardi B. That's when I have an issue. That's when my problem is like, no, I don't want that to be the representation of hip-hop. I don't want Cardi B to be what people think, oh, that must be what hip-hop is. Just high and drunk and fucking wilding out. Like, that's just what it is. No, there's teachers and there's students and there's fathers and there's Christians and there's Muslims and there's all levels of artists in hip-hop, not that. And that's what bothers me. See what I'm saying?
Well, I think
that they become the representation of Republicans, of hip-hop, that's the problem.
But I think we could say the same thing about Tupac, right? In his heyday, Tupac was the representation of hip-hop. But was he all of hip-hop? Was all of hip-hop and rap gangster rap? No. Mm-hmm. There was like conscious stuff going on. There was stuff that talked about social movements.
Sure, absolutely. But what happens is what happens is what happened. Because what happened is that music stopped being talked about. When the representations become so common that it's the same thing, everyone comes out sounding like Future. Since Future came out one year, the next 3 to 4 years, everyone came out sounding like Future. So now that becomes the norm. So if Tupac was still alive, maybe his style of music would still be the norm. We'll never know, right? We'll never know whether he will continue. He would have continued to be successful and been this deep artist that he is now, right? We don't know that. But what I do know is that the people don't rap like Pac anymore. And there's no more there's no more Dear Mama songs. There's no more changes. Now there's Crunk and there's all these.
Wait, how do you feel about Kendrick Lamar?
But it's not it's not the representation of hip hop.
Or YG.
Right? They're not this is what hip hop is. You know what that is like your Cardi B's, because she's on Time covers and she's on movies and she's like, that's what hip hop is being represented as. See what I'm saying?
But what do you think makes Cardi B so popular? Why do you think she kind of rose to the stratosphere of fame in hip hop and rap? Why do what's the mass appeal?
Here it is. We live in a very weird time, Rain, where the Me Too and the social, it's clashing, right? There's a clashment of people all feeling offended from different aspects, right? So now when someone comes out like Cardi B, you better not criticize what I like. This? Oh, I like this. No, I don't. This is. I like this. You better not say. So now you have a whole generation of teenage girls saying, "Oh, I like Cardi B." They don't like her. They don't. It's just you better not criticize what I like.
So it's an age of political correctness. You're saying.
And no one being able to do this because Rain, there's nobody on radio saying what I'm saying, and I'm not saying that I'm special. I'm saying there's nobody going out there saying, hey, maybe that's not the best representation. MTV is not doing that. They're diving headfirst into the bad representation. The commercial hip-hop doesn't allow anyone to talk bad because then those people won't come back on your show. Mm-hmm. Cardi B won't. If I had Cardi B on one episode and she heard this, she'll never come back, right? So you're not allowed to express yourself genuinely and to say, criticize, hey, maybe Lil Pump isn't the best rapper out right now. Maybe blank isn't, and that's what bothers me is that they become the face of it, right?
I think the people that become the face of music are the ones that are hustling the hardest.
You think so? You think it's just based off pure hustle?
I think.
You think they figured out how to hustle everyone that came before them?
I do. I think there's a lot of knowledge of business and marketing involved in Cardi B's career.
But yes, for her, that's fine. But for the rest of us that that don't get paid the millions of dollars, for the rest of us that don't.
I'm upstairs doing an interview. Come on up. I'm upstairs doing an interview. Come on. Go on.
For the rest of us that don't get to catch in the checks, right? That should be a problem. See what I'm saying?
I think you just need to get smarter.
Well, I'm not trying to compete.
I'm not talking about you.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the artists that want to be represented need to get smarter. Okay, I have a really good friend. Mm-hmm. Her name is Trish Toledo. Mm-hmm. She's an amazing singer. In 2 years, she went from 2,000 followers to over 100,000 followers. It wasn't luck. Mm-hmm. She put herself out there and she learned what she needed to do to make her audience bigger. And then she did it. And she continues to do it. This is a business. It's not just about sharing your art. We can't be naive. Mm-hmm. People like Cardi B and even Tupac, these big artists, they have people behind them that know how the business works. And they know exactly what to put out to gain mass appeal. I'm not saying that it's the correct representation. I'm just saying if you have a wonderful message and you want to put it out and you feel like it's authentic, figure out what the people that are popular are doing and do it with your own spin and make it work for you. Because look at Logic, right? Logic was like a totally underground rapper, and then what did he do? He went into like that mental health spin and discovered that a lot of people want to hear about mental health. And that's what skyrocketed him with that 1-800 song. It went amazingly. And there's a bunch of other rappers that are doing the same thing, rappers and singers. They're figuring out what their niche market is and they're capitalizing on it. And you can do the same thing, especially social media makes it so easy now. Social media, you can figure out who your audience is and cater to them specifically and gain a cult following and blow up in your own way. You don't even have to rely on radio anymore. You don't.
Well, and that's fine. If that's what, but then keep in mind that there's going to be people like me who aren't attached to the money. I'm not looking to be the next. That's not me. Who are genuinely savants. Just like, dude.
Savants.
All I'm saying is, you have savants of all different topics and aspects. In hip hop, very much the same. Emotionally attached, they know their logic, they don't understand it very well. There's these people like me that run around, and they're gonna be running around as long as you keep putting out BS and you want to make money.